Yeah, man, we're talking difficult Doom mods today. And I know what you're thinking. Spacey's gonna talk about some hideous destructor. Nope. Oh, so you're gonna talk about Chillax? Nah. Sunder? No. Hard Doom?
Bruh.
No, man. Death and Decay? Nah. Brutal Doom? Don't ever talk to me again. You don't get it, man. You're talking about mods with shooting. What game are you playing? The mod I'm talking about today doesn't really have enemies at all. So you may be wondering, how hard can it be? Well, because it takes Doom's hardest aspect. The thing all FPS players fear. Platforming. Introducing Jumpmaze, a mod that scarred me a long time ago. I remember playing this a decade ago, back in the Skull Tag days, man. Because the first Jumpmaze was finished back in 2009, and despite it being single player in design, it's very much a multiplayer mod. It's strange. But back then, Jumpmaze servers kinda popped off. And me, I was a dumb kid, and I thought to myself, this is really hard. So I just stuck to Z-Doom Wars and Whodunit. But I've always known about Jumpmaze, and I always bring it up as a joke when it comes to any sort of hard platforming in a game. Because this is some really intensive stuff, and there's a community around it. So what is it? It's a puzzle platforming mod, jumping from platform to platform. Despite being called Jumpmaze, these maps are pretty linear. So I know what you're thinking. But Spacey, you idiot! There's no jumping in Doom! Correct. Jumping was added in from Hexen and Strife, and then just slapped onto source ports so you can just jump in games before them. Normally Doom platforming is just running across platforms, but when jumping was added, the game changed. Nah, I'm just kidding. Most level packs have jumping turned off by default, so you never really see it. But jumping does add a lot of depth to the game and to the Doom engine in general. But you never get to see it come to play. Well, that's what's cool about Jumpmaze, so let's jump in. I typically just play the game before doing any research, so I just downloaded the mods on a random Jumpmaze server and got to work. So little did I know that what I was playing was Jumpmaze X, which is the sequel to the original Jumpmaze, and was released back in July of this year, with 39 maps all by the original Jumpmaze creator Cyber. Wow. And while there is an actual Jumpmaze 2, we'll get into that later. So this is what I played. It's chapter based with intermission levels and difficulty that scales with the chapters. I won't lie, a tutorial level here would have been kinda nice, because Doom jumping is kinda complicated. I know you may think that just having a jump and that's it may make this seem basic and easy. We can't be doing side hop dick sucks like in Mirror's Edge or something, but trust me, they do a lot with it. I have to say though, these maps are pretty cool. All these cool themes, and it's always neat to see a locked door, then look around and find how you can platform around it. It's pretty fun, some real parkour stuff. Some great music choices too. It definitely reminds me a lot of Kaizo Mario hacks, you know? You get these pretty levels with great music as you retry jumps over and over. Every map has a hidden mudkip to find too, and it's pretty cool to go out of your way and find some of these guys when they aren't just placed at the end of the level. Why mudkips? I don't know. Knowing the Doom community, they probably still find that "herdy like mudkips" meme funny. Y'all remember that? I appreciate the different sprites though. When it comes to the easy and moderate levels of Jumpmaze, it's kinda chill really. Just turning off my brain and jumping from platform to platform. I don't really care for 3D platformers that much, but I always like looking down from a high area to see all the platforming you did a while ago. It's so cool. It'd probably be a lot cooler if I could look down and see other players running as well, but I didn't really get to play this game multiplayer. With that description, you may find it surprising to hear that I think this mod is insanely frustrating, and that a lot of people probably feel the same way. If repeating the same series of jumps over and over again for upwards of 10 minutes or higher doesn't sound like fun, maybe don't play Jumpmaze. You aren't playing Jumpmaze to shoot demons, the reason most people play Doom. Which is likely why Jumpmaze isn't insanely popular these days. And with its focus being on a mechanic not even in the original Doom, you can kinda say this mod is extremely non-vanilla. So you may be noticing by now that my screen is nearly always tilted when I move and do these jumps. I mean, that's just basic Doom movement. Holding strafe and forward makes you move faster. Luckily, I've been playing Doom on source ports for over a decade by now, so I'm knowledge on most of the tech when it comes to Doom jumping. Of course, if you play the tutorial that comes with Jumpmaze 2, which isn't this is Jumpmaze X, you'll learn about this kind of stuff. But I also didn't play the tutorial until after Jumpmaze X, so there's that. Stepping back a bit, you may be wondering how a mod like this can be hard. When all you do is run and jump. Spacey, you suck at games, we get it. If you're thinking that, you may not play a lot of Doom. Doom is heavily momentum based, you have to accelerate, and when you hit the ground after a run, you still slide for a bit. Now imagine jumping on thin platforms and sliding off them when you land perfectly. It is expected to switch from holding forward and strafe, jumping on a platform, and then switch to holding back to try and soften the slide. Overshooting jumps is extremely common, and if you don't build up momentum on these extremely tiny platforms, then you just won't make jumps. I've seen people be surprised at Jumpmaze gameplay because they didn't think you'd be able to reach this platform from this jump, and that's because it's as hard as it looks. Jumpmaze doesn't expect you to be perfect. It expects you to be consistently perfect. And sometimes being perfect means scuffing your jump so that you don't fly over the platform you land on, which in a way makes every platform situation its own unique thing. You don't need 50 kinds of different jumps and special moves because Doom's mechanics and its jumping is dynamic. The way one player handles a jumping situation can be completely different to how someone else does. I was doing a gamer lean with some of these jumps, man. It kind of felt good to beat a platform challenge that was giving me some problems. I think it's time we talk about the tech. A pretty difficult tech that I've known forever about and still struggle with. The bunny hop jump. Or as I like to call it, the super jump. After performing a strafe run jump or just a normal run jump, if you hold onto your jump button while holding your strafe while still moving, you will launch yourself on your second jump. This is ungodly difficult sometimes, and if you don't play the tutorial that comes with a different level pack of Jumpmaze, you might not even know about this. And it isn't some random tip that may come to play, you're expected to know how to do this early on. What makes this difficult is that there's like a second of delay before you can jump again in Doom, which means you have to time your first jump in order to have enough time to get the super jump. If you jump to the edge of a platform and expect your second jump to come out, it won't. You'll just slide off during the cooldown. If understanding it is hard, doing it is harder. Because suddenly, whether or not you make it through the platforming segment can be determined not by the jump you're about to do, but the last jump you did. It's very easy to tell you missed the jump before you even left the ground in this. And none of this is even going into stage gimmicks like bouncy pads or dear god ice. Jumpmaze is at its best for me when I'm just jumping from platform to platform on these giant maps. It's chill, it's fun, it feels good. Jumpmaze is at its worst for me when I'm grinding a single jump over and over. I'm a person who very much so values their time, and when I'm wasting time playing games, I like to try and not think about the things that I could be doing instead. But when I'm brain-deadingly grinding a jump until I get the perfect jump, spending upwards to 30 minutes on levels, I begin to think about the other things I could be doing with my time. I play games for fun, man, and this isn't fun. I suppose by now I should say I don't find Kaizo Mario hacks to be fun to play at all. Not my cup of dick. So I'm sure by now the Jumpmaze community is laughing at me, doing Fortnite dances, making racist jokes, typical Doom community stuff, you know? And I mean, more power to you. Let me go into detail on this jumping segment and the same level I quit Jumpmaze on. The goal is to get to this switch, which looking around may not even seem possible. I thought I had to like lower a wall, but it is. So first, you have to jump on these bunches of torches, then jump over here. The reason you jump over here is so you can set up a double super jump in order to land in front of the switch. If your first jump isn't perfect, then your third jump won't even happen. And you have to be careful because there's a little gap that you can fall into after you do the double super jump. It was a little bit more into this level that I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I get it. Hey man, that was map 21. I was past halfway. I feel kind of bad for tapping out, and I'd like to revisit this someday, maybe on a stream with others. Multiplayer could be fun if the gun knockback doesn't ruin things. I couldn't actually play this with other people, never saw a server with dudes. With how niche Jumpmaze is nowadays, I figured that playing online just means you're going to get schooled by speedrunners. Which hey, that's not awful, because just like Kaizo Mario, watching people who are actually good at Jumpmaze is pretty fun. Like yeah, Doom speedruns are cool and all, but Jumpmaze speedruns? Now we're talking fire. Crazy to see people stomp these maps I had so much trouble with. There's even a page with every level from all the different expansions and all the top times. These are all ILs, but I'd love to see full game runs with all mud kits for Jumpmaze X. Imagine a speedrun of all the jump mazes back to back in one sitting. That's over 100 maps, man. I actually checked out some of these expansions, including the original Jumpmaze. They're pretty cool, just more Jumpmaze. If you're interested, I recommend the tutorial that's in Jumpmaze 2. It's handy and explains a lot of the scenarios you'll run into. But yeah, despite my frustrations, I find Jumpmaze to be really cool. It's why I'm doing a video on it, man, no one ever talks about it. It's interesting how a community was made from this mod, considering it's from a game that never even had jumping. It's an old series, but still going strong, and there's a bit of revitalization with Jumpmaze X. It's still like they're always going to be on the sidelines though. I don't think most Doomers actually care about Jumpmaze, which makes sense. People don't really play Doom for platforming, and the barrier of entry here is kind of immaculate. But hey, there's been work inspired by it, other mods in the Doom engine that take the idea of an obstacle course. I guess the obstacle or rage-tickle course would be the most popular, but I don't know. This doesn't spark like Jumpmaze did for me. I'm just getting annihilated by crushers and insanity checkpoints. Jumpmaze is a lot more forgiving, just you and the hops. So I guess when it comes to Doom mods, Jumpmaze in general is what I'd consider to be one of the hardest. I know what you're thinking, Spacey, you can just use slide to skip the hard jumps, easy game. Yeah man, and I can boot up an extremely hard map pack and type map 30 in the console, then type kill monsters and say I beat any map pack. But if I'm just going to cheat, then why would I even bother playing the game? And I know hardest is very subjective, like I could make a Doom map that spawns you in an area surrounded by cyber demons with no weapon, and that'd be the hardest Doom map, because it's impossible. I just wanted to put some light on Jumpmaze. It's a legacy mod I feel like not enough people give attention to. So if this mod looks cool, feel free to just get the file from some random Xandronum server using Doomseeker and have a go, have fun. Just know what you're jumping into. Hey, Soundy. Yes? We hit 100 subs, man. Wowie! How will you celebrate it? Surely it's not this video, you didn't even finish the mod in it. I know, man. I'd arguably say my Memoirs of Magic video was my 100 subs special because I originally intended to build it up more as this game that pissed me off and scarred me for life kind of narrative. But then I thought that it was really stupid to make some dumb stories out of someone's indie game. And I ended up just loving the game anyways. I guess the funny part is that this video is probably gonna get like 5 times the viewers of my Memoirs video. So I guess with that in mind, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, which is what people sub for me for, I hope. I don't really know. Thanks for the support anyways, guys. I'll catch you all later.